Right, so you're thinking about making your game or app, or maybe you have some crazy simulation idea,
Yeah.
and you want to bring it to life using Unity. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But now we need to find a Unity developer. And you probably have like a ton of questions. Well, that's where this deep dive comes in. We're going to serve up all the need-to-know info on hiring Unity developers, all killer no filler. And speaking of finding the best developers, you need to check out theperfectdeveloper.com. Seriously, it's a game changer. Head over there right now and try the 5 questions. It's like a matchmaking service for your dream dev team.
It really takes the guesswork out of finding the perfect developer for your needs.
Exactly. Okay, let's get down to business. First things first. What exactly is a Unity developer? And what makes them different from other software developers?
You can think of Unity developers as like digital architects. They build these immersive, interactive 3D worlds. Yeah, sure, they're coding wizards. They're using C Sharp, but they also have a really keen eye for design, 3D modeling and animation. They're not just building functionality, they're crafting experiences. And I think one of the biggest things that sets them apart is their ability to create apps and games that work across multiple platforms,
Mhm.
phones, PCs, consoles, you name it.
Okay, so they're like the ultimate multitaskers of the dev world.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But how do you even begin to find these talented folks?
You've got options. There are freelance platforms out there, job boards that are specifically tailored to game development, and even like dedicated developer communities. Those Reddit forums can be gold mines. Don't forget about outsourcing agencies either. They can connect you with specialized talent if you need a specific skill set.
Okay, so you found some potential candidates. Now, how do you separate the coding ninjas from
Hmm.
the less skilled folks? What should you
Right.
be looking for?
A strong portfolio is non-negotiable. You want to see like actual evidence of their skills, not just claims. Look for projects that are similar to what you have in mind and pay attention to the quality of the work, the complexity of the projects, and how well they showcase the developer's range. And don't be afraid to ask tough questions about their process and how they overcame challenges during development.
So a portfolio deep dive is a must. But what about technical tests? Should you put their coding skills to the test?
Absolutely. Technical tests are crucial for evaluating their actual coding abilities. You can present them with like coding challenges or ask them to complete a small task that's related to your project. This will give you a real sense of their problem-solving skills and coding proficiency. ThePerfectDeveloper.com actually offers a service where they administer these technical tests for you. It's a huge time saver.
That's super helpful. But coding skills aren't everything, right? What about those all-important soft skills?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Soft skills are make or break, especially in game development, which is a highly collaborative process. You need someone who can communicate clearly, work effectively in a team, and can handle feedback constructively. During the interview process, pay attention to how they articulate their ideas, their approach to problem solving, and their overall demeanor.
So strong communication, teamwork, and a positive attitude. Got it. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Money. What's the salary range for these Unity developers? And how can you make sure you're getting a fair deal?
Salary expectations can vary widely based on experience, location, and the specific skills required for the project. A junior developer in Europe might command a different rate than a senior developer in the US, for example. ThePerfectDeveloper.com has a wealth of resources on salary benchmarking, and they can even help you negotiate competitive rates with their network of developers.
That's really useful. Now let's move on to hiring models.
Uh,
Should you go for full-time, part-time freelance, or outsource the whole thing? How do you choose the best approach?
the best hiring model really depends on your project's needs and your budget. Full-time offers stability and deep integration with your team, but it comes with higher costs and more commitment. Part-time or freelance can be more flexible and cost-effective, but you might sacrifice some consistency and project ownership.
Interesting. What about outsourcing? When does that make sense?
Outsourcing can be a strategic move if you need specialized expertise that you don't have in-house, or if your project is short-term or has a limited budget. You can tap into a global pool of talent, but you'll need to manage communication across time zones and cultural differences. Again, theperfectdeveloper.com can help you navigate the outsourcing landscape and connect you with reputable agencies.
All right, so we've covered finding, evaluating, and even different ways to hire Unity developers. But before we wrap things up, are there any red flags we should watch out for during the hiring process? What are some signs that a candidate might not be the right fit?
A lack of a portfolio is a major red flag. Any serious Unity developer will have a showcase of their work. Also be wary of candidates who overpromise or give unrealistic timelines. They might be inexperienced or lack proper planning skills.
What about communication style? That seems important,
Mhm.
especially for a role that requires a lot of collaboration.
Absolutely. If a candidate struggles to explain technical concepts clearly, or their communication is inconsistent, it can lead to misunderstandings and project delays down the road. And finally, ensure they have experience with version control systems like Git. This is essential for collaborative coding and efficient project management.
Okay, so a portfolio realistic expectations, clear communication of version control experience are essential. Got it. So a portfolio realistic expectations, clear communication of version control experience are essential. Got it. So we've covered a ton of ground today. Finding those talented Unity developers,
Mhm.
vetting their skills, and even figuring out the best way to bring them on board.
Any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are about to embark on their Unity hiring journey? I would say remember that the Unity landscape is always evolving. New tools and techniques are constantly emerging. So it's vital to find someone who is passionate about learning and staying ahead of the curve. Look for developers who are actively engaged in the Unity community, contributing to forums, exploring new technologies, and constantly expanding their skill set.
So someone who's not just keeping up but pushing the boundaries. Makes sense. What about during the interview process? Are there any questions that can really help you gauge a candidate's passion and potential?
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask about their personal projects, what aspects of Unity development excite them the most, or what emerging trends they're following. Their answers will reveal a lot about their enthusiasm, their drive to learn, and whether they're truly invested in the world of Unity.
Great advice. I think we've armed our listeners with everything they need to confidently hire their dream Unity developer. They know where to find them, how to evaluate their skills, and even how to navigate the finer points of salary and contracts.
And don't forget, theperfectdeveloper.com is your go-to resource every step of the way. They've got your back from finding the perfect candidate to ensuring a smooth hiring process. Head over to theperfectdeveloper.com and try the 5 questions. It's a game changer for finding the perfect developer for your project.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, before we sign off, let's leave our listeners with one final thought. The world of Unity development is full of incredible possibilities. Whether you're creating a game, an immersive experience, or a groundbreaking simulation, the right Unity developer can help bring your vision to life. So dream big, explore those possibilities, and remember finding the right talent is an investment worth making.
Until next time, happy hiring.
So a portfolio, realistic expectations, clear communication, and version control experience are essential.
Got it. So we've covered a ton of ground today, finding those talented Unity developers, vetting their skills, and even figuring out like the best way to bring them on board. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are about to embark on their Unity hiring journey? Yeah, I'd say always remember that the Unity landscape is always evolving, you know. New tools and techniques are constantly emerging. So it's vital to find someone who's passionate about learning and staying ahead of the curve. So look for developers who are actively engaged in the Unity community, contributing to forums, exploring new technologies, and constantly expanding their skill set.
So someone who's not just keeping up, but pushing the boundaries.
Yeah.
Makes sense. What about during the interview process? Are there any questions that can really help you gauge a candidate's passion and potential?
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask about their personal projects. You know what aspects of Unity development excite them the most, or what emerging trends they're following. Their answers will reveal a lot about their enthusiasm, their drive to learn, and whether they're truly invested in the world of Unity.
Great advice. I think we've armed our listeners with everything they need to confidently hire their dream Unity developer. They know where to find them, how to evaluate their skills, and even how to navigate those finer points of salary and contracts.
And don't forget, theperfectdeveloper.com is your go-to resource every step of the way. They've got your back, from finding the perfect candidate to ensuring a smooth hiring process. Head over to theperfectdeveloper.com and try the 5 questions. It'll be a game changer, I promise.
Couldn't agree more. All right, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Be sure to join us next time for more insights and advice on navigating the world of software development. Until then, happy hiring.